From the heart of Philly, this is CBS News Philadelphia. It's a somber morning for the Philadelphia Police Department. An officer who was shot in the line of duty over the summer has died from his injuries.
And in their first and possibly only presidential debate, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris sparring over a range of topics at the National Constitution Center. What they had to say after the debate.
Live look at the 9/11 memorial in New York City this morning. Today marks 23 years since the worst terror attack on American soil. We'll have details on the ceremonies happening in our area today. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the news at 7, streaming on CBS News Philadelphia and on Philly 57. I'm Jim Donnelly.
And I'm Janelle Burrell. Welcome to Wednesday. Glad to have you on board. We're going to start with that next weather forecast meteorologist Kate Bilo in our next weather sphere with a look at another gorgeous day ahead. Hey, Kate.
Hey, Janelle and Jim. Yeah, we are putting together a spectacular September stretch. September tends to be one of the sunniest months generally here in Philadelphia, and this one certainly living up to the hype. It is another beautiful start to our morning. So let's go ahead and take a look outside. The sun is up now, and we're seeing all of that blue sky behind the city skyline. It is a crisp, cool, comfy start to our Wednesday. Let's pull up our current temperatures. If you're just about to step out the door, kids are heading to the bus stop, you want to grab the hoodies this morning. We're in the low 60s at the airport, but we're seeing a lot of low 50s in spots like Trenton at 53, Pemberton's at 52 degrees, Toms River, look at Toms River, 49 degrees this morning. And as we head north and west of the city, we're looking at low 50s in Allentown, Pottstown, Coatesville, and Wilmington, both sitting at 56 degrees this morning. So clear, crisp, cool. Another fantastic September day outside, and here is what to expect if you're just about to step out the door, getting dressed for the day. Again, it's another one of those lost and found stocking kind of days because the kids are going to wear the hoodies on the bus, then they're going to leave them at school because by recess time, we're already into the mid-70s and we are headed to 83 today for the high. Warming up quickly, but maybe the Phillies hoodie, grab the sunglasses as well. Make sure you've got the short sleeves underneath. At first pitch tonight, if you are headed to the Phillies game, you will not need the hoodie. 79 degrees, another beautiful night, light breeze from the south-southeast. By the end of the game, though, we're going to be dropping down to around 70, maybe even upper 60s, so you may want the hoodie as you head back to your car. High pressure keeping us dry, keeping us protected, and keeping Francine mainly away from us, but Francine is a Category 1 hurricane this morning and strengthening, likely becoming a Category 2 before making landfall in Louisiana later on today. Coming up, I'll have the latest track of Francine and whether we could see any direct or indirect impacts from that hurricane. Chandler, I'll send it over to you. Good morning.
Thank you, Kate. Good morning. Well, topping headlines right now is this closure that they just shut down, that Vine eastbound ramp to 6th Street, which not only takes you to 6th Street, which still remains closed from the debate that happened at the National Constitution Center last night, but it also takes you into Old City and the Ben Franklin Bridge. That's your access to the bridge there into New Jersey. So they just closed that down. Again, traveling eastbound on the Vine, that off ramp to 6th Street traffic is forced. You can see here onto 95. So you can either travel north heading toward the Betsy Ross Bridge or south heading toward the Walt Whitman Bridge. We are not seeing any vehicles traveling eastbound to Jersey on the Bend. So you will have to seek your other area bridges this morning. The PA Turnpike, we're still following a partial closure westbound just before Mid-County tolls. This has 2 lanes currently blocked due to an accident. Delays there back to Virginia Drive. Jim, back to you.
Thank you, Chandler. This morning, the city of Philadelphia is mourning the death of a police officer. Officer Jamie Roman died last night, months after he was shot in the line of duty. Overnight, fellow officers gathered outside of police headquarters as Officer Roman's body arrived at the medical examiner's office. Officer Roman was shot in June during a traffic stop in Kensington. City leaders are expected to hold a press conference this morning about plans to honor Officer Roman. We also expect to get an update on the charges against the man accused of shooting Officer Roman.
Vice President Harris and former President Trump taking a pause from campaigning today to commemorate 9/11. But as for last night, they faced off in their first and possibly only debate. It happened at the National Constitution Center. CBS News' Jared Hill is here in Philadelphia with a recap of some of the biggest moments and reaction from the candidates.
Let's have a good debate. A handshake kicked off the first meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. But the 90-minute debate soon turned into a sparring match over issues like the economy.
I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy.
I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation.
Abortion.
For years, they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done.
The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
And immigration.
They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in.
What we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
The former president even spreading misinformation about migrants in Ohio.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
He also repeatedly worked to link Harris to President Joe Biden, who dropped out of the race in July.
She is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden.
I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country.
Both campaigns taking a pause today to mark 23 years since the September 11th attacks are back in the swing states tomorrow. Jared Hill, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And after the debate, Vice President Harris, she showed up at a watch party in her honor at Cherry Street Pier. She spoke about the primary differences between her vision for the country and Donald Trump's.
Look, this is very much two different visions for our country. Ours, which is a vision for the future, and his, which is about the past and taking us backward. And as I said on the debate stage, we are not going back.
And Donald Trump, he visited the spin room after the debate last night, critiquing Harris's performance on the debate stage as well as his own.
All I do is say the truth. I say the truth. If I lose votes or gain votes, I don't care. But this was my best debate. I thought it was very good. I thought she was very weak on foreign policy. She was very weak on the border, and I'm very happy.
Well, both campaigns are courting young voters. A number of universities held debate watch parties last night while registering students to vote.
And at CBS News Philadelphia, we follow up, we return, and Waukesha Bailey is back at Widener University this morning. Following up with some of the students there, they had a debate party last night. They were watching. They have a lot of thoughts this morning, Waukesha.
Yeah, good morning, Janelle. Jim, you know what? I have to say, here at the 7 o'clock hour, these students are still talking about the debate. They are fired up. We've been having some amazing conversations, you know, off camera. And I'm going to start with you, Sean, that's right here. Thanks for joining us this morning. Number one, how many hours of sleep have you had?
Ooh, probably about 3.
Okay.
Running out about 3 hours this morning.
Okay, so now tell us, how do you feel after last night's debate? How do you feel this morning?
Going into last night, I had an idea of who I was going to vote for, and last night showed that both candidates are not to my liking, so I'm going to have to go home and do a lot of research. It was really disappointing last night, unfortunately, in my opinion.
Do you feel like that was the tone of the room here last night?
I think some people, everybody came in very energetic, and leaving, I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed in what happened last night. I think we were looking for a civil discussion, and we didn't really get that last night, unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you for your viewpoint there. So, Ryan, coming over to you, one of the things that we're talking about is that you guys have these student-led discussions. What were some of the things that were discussed at your table?
Well, we were talking mostly about the future of where this country is headed, especially with our young people, and we weren't exactly too confident, which is kind of unfortunate. I had a lot of younger guys, like freshmen, maybe one junior that was in my group, and we were worried about what we would be able to buy, the state of inflation, the economy, healthcare, all that fun stuff, our rights, whether they're going to be protected. So we just wasn't exactly too positive. Okay.
And Nate, what about you? What about at your table?
We kind of all were very in agreement with one another. There were definitely things we wanted to see that we didn't get to hear about.
Yeah. Like what? Like, were there topics that you felt were like glazed over?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think especially like the big thing we were talking about was gun control, especially with what has been going on lately. And I think especially as college students, it's a big deal for us, and the fact that it was just kind of not even talked about almost at all was really big for us, and that's something we talked about a lot. But we were all in pretty much perfect unison when it came to like talking about how we felt.
Okay. So. And Demaya, to continue on with that conversation, if we were to ask you guys, were you okay with the debate last night? Were you happy? Do you want to hear more from the candidates? What would your response be?
I wouldn't say I was happy per se, but I would like to know more information from each candidate. Okay. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
All right, Cindy, we're going to end it with you. So Here we are. Is this your first presidential election that you'll be voting in?
It is. I just voted in the Delaware primaries a couple weeks ago. I voted early, and the energy there was so great. I'm so excited to now be in a swing state, especially, and to come here and vote for who I think is the best.
Yeah. Do you think after last night's debate you kind of made your decision, or did you already come in knowing who you were going to vote for?
So I came in with a decision, and last night I tried to keep an open mind. To keep it real. And last night, it just made me realize that I do need to do some more research. I do need to see who would be best fit for somebody who looks like me. So yeah.
I love that. Thanks, guys, for being with us this morning. We are going to let them go and get some sleep because we know we got some people who have to go to class early. What time is your class?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.?
Oh, I got one at 8.
Okay, what about you?
I'm right in 10.
Oh, my goodness. And you?
9 a.m. bio.
11, bless up.
Okay, so we got to let them go, you guys. But as you can see, this is why their vote matters. And, you know, our youth, they're speaking their mind this morning. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
It's good to see that they're engaged and interested, you know, and hopefully they'll be at the polls come November. All right, Waukesha, thank you, and all the students, thank you as well. And we want you to stay here with CBS News Philadelphia for continuing coverage of the race to the White House. When we're not on air, you can find the latest on our website, cbsphiladelphia.com.
Today marks 23 years since the United States was the target of coordinated terrorist attacks that killed thousands of people, including those from our area. CBS News Philadelphia and Pennsauken last night, where first responders, residents, and local officials came together to place American flags around the township's 9/11 memorial. The annual event usually takes place closer to midnight, but this year's ceremony was held earlier so that more people could take part.
You all have been here today to be a part of remembering every person that lost their life on that tragic day. That's what these flags signify, and that's what you guys have done tonight. So on behalf of all of us and all of Pennsauken Township, tonight, we will never forget.
The flag surrounding the memorial will remain up until around 11:30 tonight. Live look now from the 9/11 memorial in New York City. The focal point of the memorial, twin reflecting pools, each nearly an acre in size, that sit in the footprints of the former North and South Towers of the World Trade Center. The memorial opened on September 11th, 2011, 10 years after the 9/11 attacks. Later this morning, families there will read the names of those lost in the attacks. Ceremony will also be held in Shanksville, Pennsylvania this morning. The site marks the place where United Flight 93 crashed after passengers and crew fought back against hijackers on 9/11. President Biden, Vice President Harris, and former President Trump are all slated to visit the Flight 93 memorial today.